Greetings Earthlings, welcome back to Xenonauts Part 13. Last time we attacked an alien base with Charlie 1, they provided some shortcuts for themselves using the old rocket launcher and it went okay. Then Hammersickle was attacked by an alien assault team. We were able to defend, although with casualties and probably with some damage done to the base. And at the end we sent Charlie 3 out to investigate a downed alien landing craft in Florida, so that's the mission we're doing right now. There was an alien right outside the helicopter, luckily barely functional, shooting from the door took it out. You might note I've only got 6 operatives. This is another case where I've accidentally sent out a squad without the full number available, without realising it. We really need some sort of warning system for that. Anyway, another alien appears from over to the left. I suspected someone was over there, so I've already put half my squad in cover facing that direction. Ended up not being able to shoot him, I just got more of my squad into cover, but then in the next turn, the alien just walked in front of us, so we dealt with that easily enough. Now I was doing a bit of scouting around, and realised there's probably no point in going further up that field. We're going to go through this hedge into the next yard sort of area, and indeed there was an alien right there. And I thought I might be able to take cover from him, but there was another alien off to his flank. So we're going to hide for now and switch to using a bit of gas strategy, because now that we know where the aliens are, we can just throw into the fog of war. There we go, that gas sounded like it hit the target there. Unfortunately, in this case, the alien escaped from the gas and was then sitting around the corner. We can finish the stun off using the stun stick though, so that's easy enough. As for the other alien, we can use these hay bales as good cover. They provide 100% block, but they also don't block your line of sight somehow, so we can see the alien while hiding, get some more gas out there using gunner carry squad, and this time it was more effective. It took 3 turns, I think. The alien kept running around in the gas and eventually fell unconscious. So that's sorted. Now we're going to move further up the yard, where we found another alien crouching in the corner and discovered the landing craft just in the next field. The alien attempts a shot but hits the trough in front of it, and that's enough for that guy. He decides to give it up and start running away. Probably the right choice, to be fair. Now, in pursuing him, I moved a shield bearer and a shotgunner up to the left here, hoping to get an angle on him, but he's actually switched sides. He's now right in front of us, just behind that wall. Was checking the possibility of throwing something over the wall, but we don't have enough time units to do it. So I thought we'll just wait, maybe he'll come around the corner and we'll blast him. But no, he's doing my plan right back at me. A grenade comes over and takes out sit in duck and gunner carry squad. We now have nobody carrying the squad. Not good at all, and we still aren't in a position to shoot that alien either. He happened to run away and we didn't see him for a while, so eventually I thought I'll just shoot the door of the landing craft instead to see if that will yield anything for us to do. We do spot an alien walking around inside the UFO. The thing to note here is that there's no cover in front of the door, so actually attacking is really difficult. I pretty much need to stay where I am now and try to snipe people inside the UFO, especially considering the fact that we only have 4 squad members right now. We're at half strength, so actually continuing the mission at all is very risky, meaning I'm going to be maximum conservative and just stay as far away as I can, wasting ammo and slowly chipping away at damage on enemies. Here we've got a nice setup when we suppressed an alien, shot it again in the next turn, but another alien had got into the line of fire and we suppressed that guy as well, so that went surprisingly well. Now we can use a snipe to take out the red guy, and then we have it. That's 2 aliens inside the UFO dead. I still didn't know the location of the guy who'd thrown the grenade. He was somewhere off to the left, so I was very paranoid about going around the corner. Eventually had a little peek, and he's down here in the field. So I'd set up for a grenade attack to take revenge here with Slow Scope Joe. I'm going to throw this grenade just over the wall. He gets an accurate throw, and it falls just beside the alien. That's good news. Now we just need to move away so it can't shoot at us and let the explosion kill it. We don't see if it's killed it right away, but after taking a peek in the next turn, it's gone. There's just a body there. You can't actually see it here because it's now hidden by the cover, but the alien was gone, suffice to say, so we're going to occupy this field and get more line of sight inside the UFO. We spotted there was an alien in there. It came a bit closer to us, so I used some gas to try and get rid of it. Didn't get the stun, but for whatever reason it just ran away and allowed us to occupy the inside of the UFO, and that's what I was looking for, because now we actually have some cover, so the further battles might be a bit safer, albeit at very close range. Indeed, an alien appears right in front of us, probably the same one we gassed earlier, shoots some of our cover, we get a bit of reaction fire doing a bit of damage, and now the alien just crouches there in front of us. Just what we need, we can shoot it in the open. Once this alien was taken down, I started a pretty detailed search of the rest of the UFO, because the mission wasn't over obviously, there was someone else to fight. I came to the conclusion that there was no one here, because I couldn't find anyone in all the corners or anything, so I just thought I'll sit here and end the turn facing the door, because someone from the outside might run in to try and recapture it. But I noticed strangely that the camera kept showing me this fire on the roof, or at least I thought it was on the roof. I realised that's not the roof, there's a second floor to this UFO, because the roof is on the third height level of the camera. And then I remembered something I'd learned during my base assault. These blue things are teleporters. We don't know how they work, but I thought they must teleport us up to the next floor, so I set up ready to investigate or defend against aliens coming down through them. Nothing happened for a bit, so sooner or later I had to try and walk through them. Luckily enough, these teleports work on humans, and it takes us to a room filled with smoke, but no hostiles, so that's good news. All I did was go straight back after I'd seen that the teleports worked, because I was being super paranoid about something or other, but eventually I sent the whole squad through, which was perfectly safe since there was no one here. There were doors though into another room, and after opening those doors we can see there's an alien sitting in the corner of what looks like the bridge of this ship. So I started setting up ready to burst through the doors and attack this guy, but then there was an officer just on the other side of the door. He opens it, slips a grenade through, runs away. Looked like he himself got hit by the grenade, but I don't know if it actually did any damage. But the real news is that Bing Bad Sniper was killed, and Fake Eyes Fritz is now on the verge of death. Had to spend 2 more turns trying to stop him from bleeding out. We succeeded, and the aliens didn't return to attack us again, so that was merciful, and we see they're actually now both hiding in the corner, probably waiting for us to come through the door so they can attack us. Thought maybe I can throw something across the room, but when it comes to throwing, the line of sight mechanics are much less lenient, so while I can shoot them, I can't throw at them. You can't like throw around ledges, I think is how it works. So I can't lean around the door and throw a grenade, but I can lean around and shoot. I also couldn't throw it from in the door as well. It was very confusing. Anyway, I eventually thought, well, we're just going to have to go in and see what happens. The alien officer was again just by the door, just by chance. So I slapped him up with the stun stick, got the stun, and then walked away to preserve our time units. Luckily avoiding some reaction fire on the way. I can't close this door, by the way. I think it was disabled by the grenade, which is why I'm leaving it open quite dangerously. Now the other alien runs up, shoots the wall, so finally a shot that didn't go through the wall. This is good for us. Now Fake Eyes runs out and blindly swings his stick. 2 swings doesn't bring it down, but a 3rd swing finally stuns the alien. The mission isn't over though. I really thought that would be it after all this stress, but no, there's still something else. I think because this is a landing craft, the number of aliens on the mission is much larger than usual. All I did was sit around in the bridge after this, because I thought surely this time we have captured the UFO, there can't be anyone else still inside it, and that was the case. There was just one alien somewhere else. The good news is that Sit and Duck, our shield bearer, comes back from the dead, but we have lost Gunner, Carry Squad and Bing Bad Sniper. Carry Squad being the more important loss because he was quite good and was previously carrying the squad. Back at base, Charlie 3 is given some new party members, which I could have done before and probably made that mission go a lot better. And also I skipped over the fact that I downed 2 more corvettes in the usual fashion just by spamming foxtrots at them and not taking any damage. So Charlie 1 and Charlie 3 are moving out, no rest for Charlie 3. Need to be very careful here that I don't attack at night. The main struggle was that it's hard to actually click on your things. Their click hitbox is right in the middle of the icon, not on the edges, so just about managed to get them to stop attacking before it's too late. Sent some foxtrots out to blow up a corvette over the sea nearby, so let that represent all 3 of the combats that happened at around this time. And then Charlie 1 arrived first, since it was daytime over in Russia, so we'll get on with their mission. We spotted our first target off to the right of the UFO, a blue guy currently engaging a civilian. We have line of sight, but we don't have real line of sight because there's too much stuff in the way. Luckily, Ver for now can move up to the end of this wall, stick his gun through the fence or something to shoot through those railings, and there we go, we get a 1-hit kill. Good work from him. Then I moved over to the left to go into this warehouse type building. A drone started firing at us through multiple walls, getting some suppression as well. I think it's because they could technically see us through a window and door. And it made the shots go through walls because the drone moves while firing, but the shots count as coming from its initial position, so the movement's kind of superfluous. Anyway, we found that drone on the other side of the warehouse and shot it in the face, and that was the end of that encounter. Then a blue alien came down the road, just to our right there. We sort of had line of sight with Hillary Highcal, got a couple of hits and some suppression, couldn't get the hit with Ray and Prey. I realised we can actually kill this guy using Bohm Headshot, because he's got so many time units these days. He can run and then also take a relatively aimed shot with his rifle, and right there we get the kill. So he's becoming very effective. I think a high level sniper is going to be invaluable in general. We moved up that road and discovered the alien UFO. No more aliens on the way, but there was one in the door, which we opened using Verfenau's laser rifle. And here Hillary Highcal was able to make a cheeky move and fire in the same turn, getting the kill on that nearby alien. Good work from her. Now the whole squad needs to start moving up to look down the corridor. Verfenau's the first to get a look, and we do see another alien inside. I start firing, getting some damage and suppression. That alien didn't do anything during its turn, perhaps because of the suppression, so in the next turn we're going to be able to just fire at it again. We also spotted a red-shirted alien is behind the door, so we'll keep that in mind. Verfenau keeps firing, and he picks up another kill. He's been doing very well in this mission. He's taking over the role of Betty Buckshot in that he's just doing everything for us. So I set up around the door some more and then just sat there ending turns, because there's a chance an alien will just walk out into the corridor and we can just shoot down with everything and get loads of hits with relatively low risk. And indeed that is what happens. Verfenau gets some reaction fire on this alien as he comes through the door. He crouches outside the door, suppressed I think. Don't have proper line of sight with our guns, but Verfenau, with one shot left in his laser battery, can take an aimed shot and gets another kill. He is carrying everything. Now we know there's at least that red alien left in the UFO, so I cautiously go inside, find the guy, Betty Buckshot shoots it in the face, and that's the end of the mission. A short and easy mission that went perfectly. No wounds or anything like that, so just some free experience and free money. Everything went well. If all missions went like this, that would be very nice, but it tends not to be the case. So right after that, we've already got our Chopper for Charlie 3 waiting for a mission, so we're going right on to another one. It was a case where we're fighting right out of the helicopter again. There's an Andron standing in that barn. So it's bad news, I suppose. We're fighting the Androns and not the easier aliens with Charlie 3, who aren't at all equipped to deal with robotic enemies, since we just don't even have the equipment or the ability to produce it. That means we're going to rely on a bit of luck for this mission. Shooting out of the door with barely functional does get rid of the first enemy at least. Then Seatmeat discovers a new enemy behind the hedge nearby, so we're going to set up using this little brick wall as cover, with everyone facing the edge of the hedge, expecting that guy to come around the corner. Also going to play things safe by putting a smoke screen on ourselves as well, which in theory prevents the enemy from attacking us, or at least makes them less likely to attack us successfully. In this case, it doesn't appear to work for us. It is possible that Androns aren't affected by smoke screens in the same way that the civilian enemies are, since they've got heat vision or something, which, by the way, we should also have. I'm pretty sure humans had that technology, but whatever. In this case, we didn't get a casualty, so that's something. Seatmeat's nearly dead. Annoyingly, we can't shoot back at the Andron because there's something there 100% blocking our line of sight. I think it's the hedge, but it just doesn't really look like it's there because it's phased out to let us see the Andron behind it or something, although the Andron himself was able to shoot through this hedge. Whatever the case, I can't get my full firepower onto this guy, which we do need because our weapons are going to do minimal damage. We need to hit them with loads of stuff in each turn. As it happens, we are able to bring him down with Pumpy Parker delivering the finishing blow. He's back in action after being transferred out of Charlie 2 and realizing that he can actually walk, unlike his previous claims. As you can see, there's another Andron in the barn just to the north. I'm going to renew our smoke screen just in case it's helpful, because this guy's probably going to come out at us. Seatmeat's going to start patching himself up. It does walk out of the barn into the road. We get some reaction fire, but as usual, it's not terribly helpful. We spot a drone slightly further up the road coming towards us, and I'm actually going to use that drone as my main target, because the guy on the end of the line, Decent Dan, has a shot that will go through the Andron and into the drone, so we might as well take this shot because there's a good chance of damaging both of them. We destroy the drone and damage the Andron. The Andron shot back, luckily it missed. Now we just need to see if anyone else can lay down some damage, and snipers have a good chance of damaging Androns since they have single powerful hits, and in this case we do get a kill at close range. We moved up the road that the drone came down, discovering no more Androns and discovering the alien UFO, so we set up around the door ready for an attack. And we are, similar to the last mission, just going to be waiting outside the door to see if any opportunities arise, because it's much safer to thin the enemy out like this than to just go in. We see that there is an Andron wandering about in there, wasn't paying any attention to us apparently. So now we'll do the strategy of just ending the turn with the door closed. At the start of each turn we open the door to see if anything's there. If not, we close it again, end the turn, rinse and repeat, and eventually you might just happen upon an enemy standing there, and there we have it, and Andron's just looking down the corridor, probably wondering why the door keeps opening and closing. So now I'm going to move my team out of the way so we don't get suppressed by our own fire, and start engaging the Andron with machine gun fire. Decent Dan gets a hit, and luckily avoids the return fire damage. Now we've got Functional, who can also just about see this guy, apparently anyway, and he's able to get the kill. Nothing else came down the corridor, so after a while I go inside and start looking around. There's an Andron to the left of the door, and to engage it I'm going to try using Pumpy Parker at point blank range. Our shotguns do have some probability to damage these Androns, even though I think they are resistant to ballistic attacks, so we'll just put the shotgun in its face, pull the trigger, and as it turns out it doesn't do very much at all, and then the counter attack from the Andron instantly kills Parker, so that absolutely sucked. We clearly don't have the equipment to be dealing with this tier of enemy. We can't really damage them, and we don't have much protection against their weapons, and Parker's paid the price. That said, we're probably still going to have to continue with such plans, because if this guy doesn't come into the corridor, all we can do is attempt point blank range attacks. And we can't use the gunners since they can't move and shoot, so someone has to run around the corner and try to kill the Andron. And I suppose we were unlucky there, because usually targets don't shoot back when you go in for point blank range attacks. Even if you have to shoot them multiple times, they just take it. In this case the Andron bothered to fire back, I guess because it hadn't moved at all, it had enough time units to do it. As you can see, my next move is effectively to do the exact same thing with I'm a shoot 'em up, and this time it works. The damage we got from the shotgun was much more reasonable. The Andron went down, and of course that means no reaction fire. There was another Andron in the next room who I'd already seen at this point. I spotted him moving around and I suspected he was just behind this door. Indeed he was, so now we can take him out using Functional, a close range machine gun attack, and that definitely does do the damage that we need. Parker actually didn't die, he was revived after the mission, so he's wounded once again. He's going to be back in the hospital bed where he's been for the last couple of months. Hopefully he'll enjoy that. So no casualties or no mortalities overall, despite it being a very scrappy mission. We really need to gear Charlie 3 up with some more stuff, and we are going to be working towards that, of course. It's just a slow process. Now I finish my research on the Reapers. We've done the Reaper analysis, and this is another one of these researches that proves to be very disappointing. It just tells us about the fact the Reapers can create other Reapers by attacking us, which we already found out the hard way the first time we encountered them. And we now have a plus 10% damage bonus against them, which is a very low amount considering how long it takes to get that research. In retrospect, definitely a skippable one, especially because damage spread is way more than 10%, so it's hard to notice a 10% increase in damage. Anyway, with that done, I'm going to switch to doing research on the alien communication equipment that we captured from their base, hoping this will lead to something a bit more concrete in terms of progressing the game. We also completed the base upgrade research, and this is a really good research in contrast to the last one. It gives you a 50% increase to research and construction speed, the construction of your engineers that is, so making weapons and armor, and that's exactly what we need. We're so far behind in both of those categories because of the various oversights mentioned before. So now we have a possible chance of catching up. Depends if we got this research later than you're supposed to, in which case it won't matter at all. Hard to say. At least the base looks nicer now. We've got lots of shiny alien lights all over the place. I'm now going to research directional thrusters, because I think that upgrades our helicopters, our dropships. And if they could be a bit faster, that would be good, and if they could carry more crew members, that would be good as well. Now there was an aerial engagement near Concrete. It's another 2 fighters and a corvette versus our 2 fighters and an interceptor, our Foxtrot. Because we've approached them head on, we need to immediately just turn away and try not to fly into all of those arcs of fire, and then look for an opportunity to engage something. There, one fighter appears to be following my interceptor, so one of my own Condors can go over to engage it. At the same time, my other Condor at the top of the screen is trying not to get hit. It's currently in one of the enemy fighter's arcs and needs to turn itself to fire back. Our first Condor successfully destroyed the enemy fighter, but then while I was microing the other one, that first Condor got destroyed in one hit. It couldn't escape the enemy corvette fast enough, and they have some sort of one-hit kill weapon that fires out of their main central arc of fire. Anyway, we did manage to get the torpedoes off to hit the corvette. That's not enough to bring it down though. Now we need to do some serious micro, because the second Condor needs to get behind the corvette, which is quite difficult because the corvette turns fast enough for it to make it very hard for us to fly around it without being in its arc of fire. Eventually, after a long time, I managed to get something like this happening. We just about shot it down. You only need to have like 1 pixel of the enemy craft in your arc of fire to be able to attack it, so it's a tiny bit exploitative there. We didn't really have the shot, but we somehow brought the enemy down. Now, that's a new mission for Charlie 1 to go on right there. You can see there's a couple of landed UFOs around the place, but it's about to be night time, so we can't go for them. We need to go for the crash site just because we might be able to actually do it during the day. I am going to speculatively send Charlie 2 over with an escort to float over one of the landed UFOs, since if it takes off during the night, the escort will be able to engage it, so it's less dangerous to do this. Anyway, so obviously some more missions are coming up, and we've got a terror mission in the next part where the alien tech level increases and the challenge increases quite a lot. So I hope you'll join me for that.